live. And I've got my phone tonight. I
Heck
can actually
yeah.
go check and see
Let's see
if we're
it.
live.
You got a few minutes to grab a friend, grab a drink, and grab your friend a drink. But don't grab your friend's drink. I had a brain moment.
It's been that kind of day. Let's see here.
It's been that kind of week today.
Yeah, it's been that kind of week today. All right, it's working.
All right.
We are live. Join us. I just shared it. If you want to share it too, go ahead, click that little share button. It'll be fun.
It's not too hard.
No, we can do it. Oh, man. Good evening. Is it Tuesday? It's felt like it was the end of the week already. We packed a lot into today.
It's been a day.
It has been. Let us know how you're doing, and let us know where you're viewing from tonight. Where are we?
Where are we?
Where are we?
Y'all, we just cracked it. We just cracked the
Yeah, haven't even had a
lime
sip yet.
crush. But you know, it's just one of those days. 'Tis the season.
That's really decent. Decent. That's really good.
That's really
Delicious.
decent. So every time
That's
I
pretty
think
okay.
one of the papers that I wrote my junior year of college, I think it was.
Mhm.
It was a paper for a philosophy of religion class.
Mhm.
And it was the hardest professor in the department. I got the grade back, and it was like a B plus. But the comment beside the grade was a pretty okay paper, or a pretty okay.
I'll take it.
So anytime it's pretty decent,
It's pretty okay.
it's pretty good.
It's decent.
So
It's
yeah.
deliciously decent.
I took my B plus and my deliciously decent grade and ran away.
I want to say hello to the Schlimmers who are down in Georgia. I don't know, is it raining where y'all are? It's starting to kind of rain up here a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think we're starting to get the impacts of that tropical whatever it is coming in.
Dad beat us to the point. He's in Boiling Springs tonight and says Catonsville Thursday. That's sustaining him. So that's good. Our parents know what the first question is going to be.
I think it's like our parents and a couple of other folks on right now.
We'll join in.
So
with our
come on
parents.
in.
That's good. Friends, let us know what is sustaining you. Let us know, and we check this throughout the week, but that's how we start off every episode of Talking Toast. What is sustaining you? What is getting you through? What's that undercurrent that's pulling you along? What's saving your life right now, as Barbara Brown Taylor says? What is sustaining you? Yeah, let's start Talking Toast off that way.
What's sustaining you?
What's sustaining me? Yeah. I was going to ask you that question. I'll be honest. Last weekend, we had a non-Clemson football weekend. It was a bye weekend.
It's kind of nice.
And it was just like calm. My blood pressure didn't go up. I just kind of chilled on Saturday. Actually, went to the church.
You didn't-
and
you
printed
didn't chill on
bulletins, and I
Saturday?
did all kinds of work. But it was
We
calm.
both worked
I
our
did-
tails off on Saturday.
Yes, but it was chill in the afternoon, and
Yeah.
that was
You
kind of
had-
nice.
I had Sophie duty in the morning. You had Sophie duty in the afternoon.
Mhm.
And we swapped who would be working when. So
Yeah.
yeah,
It was good.
that
It was good. So
you
I
know.
think having a weekend here, just kind of more calm, was sustaining.
yeah.
Yeah.
That happens every now and then.
It does. What about you?
Not gonna be calm this weekend. You've got a gig this weekend. It's
do
really
have
exciting.
a gig this weekend.
Yeah,
That's what I
I'm
probably
excited.
should have said.
I'm excited about that. So if
Yeah.
anybody is local to Baltimore, This guy is opening up for a couple of bands. One that you all might know, Radio Free Baltimore.
Yeah.
But he's doing a little solo set
Yeah.
at Monument City Brewery on Saturday night.
Saturday night. Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Doors open at 7:00. The ticket price is $10, or the door cover is $10.
I'm excited about
And,
it. I haven't seen you play. I don't think I've ever seen you do a solo gig.
You might not have. I haven't done one in a long time.
There was this one time that John invited me to his band was putting on a show. This is like before we started dating, but we were both kind of interested in each other. And he said,
This was the first time we had not dated. This is before we started dating.
Yeah.
Dating. This was the first time I asked you out.
Yeah. I didn't catch it. So he came and he was like, hey, you want to come watch me play some music?
I did not say it that way.
He said my band is playing at this place in
Called
downtown.
The Garage, which was a
Yeah,
pretty
it was a
big
pretty
deal.
big deal. And what did I say? I looked at you and I said, what?
I have to walk my dog tonight. That was her response. No, I have to walk my dog. I was like,
Which, for the record, I
Cool.
did. That was my busy day, and I was working up until the evening that night because I worked through divinity school,
yeah.
and I had better things to do that night.
At the welcome desk, you were working.
I was
at the
working at the welcome desk. I had to welcome people to the school, all three of them. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
It minimized
So-
my student loans to a meager $100,000.
You know. So we are playing this Saturday, and I'm really excited about it. Brian K. in the Parkway is playing, and that's my friend Stephen Russ from Divinity School. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited about meeting up with Stephen again and playing some tunes. And then Bob Luking from Christian Temple is
yeah.
in Radio Free Baltimore.
It's going to be Christian Temple in the wild all over the place.
That's exactly right. It's going
Love
to be
it.
a good night. It's going to be a
Good
good night.
stuff.
What's sustaining? Excuse me. What's sustaining you? And by the way, somebody said you seem to be burping some on Talking Toast. Like I just scarfed down a ton of Taco Bell. Not a ton. Two things from Taco Bell.
Don't tell her.
Real fast because we had meetings and then I had to. Anyway, so yes, that's Taco Bell.
Life is
Anyway.
a little bit crazy.
It's a little bit hectic right now. All right. So what's sustaining you? Did you share?
I have not shared.
Okay, I
yet.
didn't think you did.
So what is sustaining me is also the thing that's draining me. But I am, and sometimes that's the case, but I am doing this really cool project. The governor of Maryland created this piece of legislation called the Enough Act. And the Enough Act is a neighborhood-based investment in ending childhood poverty. And so the governor's office for children is doing this big grant program that my organization that I work for full-time is applying for. And so basically it's kind of my role in this as the grant writer for this program is kind of community organizing, kind of program design, but I'm getting to interface with people who are wanting to make a difference in our community in Baltimore. We're specifically focusing on the 21218 zip code, which is kind of northeast Baltimore, Waverly area, if you're familiar with Baltimore. And we used to live there. And it's just, it's a project that's close to my heart. And I've learned a lot doing it, but I've also, it ignited something in me that's really exciting. And the project's due on Friday, so it's this like huge lift. I've never done anything like this. It's basically like a 25-page single-spaced research paper, in addition to all of the back-end organizational stuff that I've been doing. But it's been really exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And draining.
Your dad's excited about sweatshirt weather and 2 good bike rides, and then you should look that direction. Yeah, there you go, Jim. There you go. The Floyd of Rosedale is coming up on Saturday. That's good.
Remind me, if Kathy Stansberry's watching, or someone remind me to tell Kathy Stansberry about the time that Jim Schlemmer stole the Floyd of Rosedale trophy. It's
It's a good story.
Mischief is in my bones.
There you go. There you go.
Yep.
So, each week at Talking Toast, one of the things that we do is we pull back the curtain on the creative process that is, sermon writing, that is homilies, that is, it was Bruce. Oh, Bruce who stole it.
Yeah. Dad was just his accomplice.
Yeah. They shared equal jail cells. Whatchamacallit. So yeah, we pull back the curtain on the creative process and thinking about what we're going to talk about on Sunday. And at Christian Temple, a lot of times, what we end up doing is preaching 2 homilies. And this week, we're really, really excited about it because we're in week 2 of a sermon series. And there is this thing called the lectionary, the Revised Common Lectionary. If you ride around churches and you see Bible verses on a lot of mainline denominational churches on what they're focusing on that week, that's why they're very similar. It's because a lot of mainline churches go along with the Revised Common Lectionary. And so what we're going to do is using that lectionary and using something spiritual from everyday life, we are going to have our sermon series connect with Bluey. And I'm really, really excited about it. It's episode 2 of this sermon series.
Episode 2, yes.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
But something of note in that regard, why we picked Bluey, and why we're kind of, one might say that it is sacrilegious to put Bluey right next to a sacred text, but I think that it is absolutely they bring out the best in each other. And what I mean by that is the spiritual life is all about paying attention. And so as pastors, as people charged with, I don't know, saying spiritual things and like leading this spiritual movement or being a part of it and being entrusted with leadership. I don't know how you want to frame it.
Trying to awaken ourselves and awaken others.
Yeah, so as people whose vocation is around this kind of stuff, we have failed if you go out into the world, if the people in our fold go out into the world and have no ability to access, if they're reliant on us to mediate their religious experience or reliant on an institution to mediate that religious experience. And so what we hope, and I'm going to speak for you for a second, what we hope is that by marrying these different themes and kind of ideas, like what we did with Fred Rogers, like what we're doing with Bluey, we're going to do it with another experience in the fall, in the winter. By marrying these sacred texts with these everyday kind of spiritualities, what we're doing is we are crafting a spirituality that exists independent of an institution. Does that mean you need the institution still? Yeah. I mean, we need it. We need the institution of the church for our relationships, for our community. There's something that happens when we come together. And if your spirituality is tied, I mean, think about having a diverse portfolio of investments. If all of your investments are in one place, then it's a risky business that you're running, right? And so this is a part of diversifying our spiritual portfolio in order to help that spirituality come alive in you and in us.
Yeah. So I love the idea of awakening. In fact, I had a friend. There used to be a prayer at the beginning of many mainline services that was called a shoot. I just forgot the name of it. All of a sudden, I haven't done it.
Invocation.
Invocation. Thank you. Like you're invoking God's presence, which is kind of hilarious. Invocation,
as if we could invoke God's presence.
Exactly. But what
We
we can
could be
do,
so vain.
right? What we can do is awaken ourselves to the things that are all around us, all around us. And so this Bluey episode or this Bluey sermon series is just one of those things. Is trying to help us awaken ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to pay attention, because spirituality is about paying attention.
There you go.
And I am paying attention to the chat right now, and I see that Julia Utley just raised that their 19th anniversary is coming up.
There is no way y'all have been together for 19
That's
years.
amazing.
How
That is
about that?
absolutely amazing.
Man.
Going to hang out in Philly, definitely want to try that out
Oh,
for sure.
that's awesome.
And
That's
yes,
awesome.
my eyebrow raise game is on point.
Oh, was it you or me?
I don't know. I think it was me.
Maybe when you said we have failed, I was like, who knows? Maybe we both raised some eyebrows.
Known
that's
each other
awesome.
since y'all were 15.
How about
love
that?
that. I love
You
that.
too.
So
Beautiful
great.
stuff.
Ha!
Katie.
My eyebrow raise.
So, this first text on Sunday that we're going to be talking about is James 3, verses 13 through 18. And it's funny because the heading of this text says that there are two kinds of wisdom. And I'm interested in that. But one of these...
Sorry, I'm focusing on my eyebrows now.
Absolutely. Sorry, I saw Susan's congratulations and said absolutely. I don't know what you're doing with your eyebrows. The first kind of wisdom, which is interesting in this James text, is it says, "Show by your good life that your works are done with gentleness, born of wisdom." Gentleness, born of wisdom. What you got to say?
Gentleness is not my strong suit. In case you didn't know that.
I mean,
No comment.
looking late.
Still on the eyebrows.
Invoking. Well, I'm excited to go back and watch your eyebrows. Yeah, gentleness is done are done with gentleness, born of wisdom. And we're in James, so it's talking about works again, which was Luther's like works, and we shouldn't have the work. Anyway, I don't understand what Luther's deal is with this, but
Well, his whole thing was that
he was arrogant and
he was an arrogant
he was awful.
anti-Semite
Yeah.
and loved Paul, who was also an arrogant.
Yeah, and it's hard to call him an anti-Semite,
But he kinda was.
He kind of was, yeah.
Formerly Jewish.
Yeah,
He was a lot. He was a whole energy.
yeah. So my question is, with these two kinds of wisdom, I'm interested in this. One, it says that the gentleness is born of wisdom, and the other one, it talks about being prideful and boastful is leading a wisdom to the other place. It basically talks about
The South.
yeah, huh?
Your South Star.
No, not necessarily the South Star. It talks about is from the evil one.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm thinking about with that gentleness in this text is what are other ways that we show that wisdom? What are examples of things that you feel like that was wise? Because I've always thought about it as being something said.
Like saying something smart.
Yeah.
Or intuitive or
Yeah.
incisive. I'm dancing around this word in my head that's not coming out.
Yeah, but
yeah.
there's words said, words spoken. Mm-hmm. But then this is talking about the works, and gentleness is a moniker or is showing of that. Yeah. which I just think is kind of fascinating. And we talk about, I think about with Bluey, there's some kind of like fun nods at gentle parenting and that kind of thing, and like some of this is gentle in this. Some of it's just like outlandishly funny and like wah!
There are these great TikToks that I must admit to watching that kind of make fun of gentle parenting in the like most, oh my gosh, it's me kind of look, where you're like, I'm trying to practice gentle parenting, and then you find like the parent in the closet hiding from their child, sneaking candy because they've like lost their wits about them.
Yep.
And that's me. Like I am a gentle parent, and then I lose my wits and I have to go to Taco Bell and the liquor store, which is what I did today. 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, the James passage with this is going to be interesting. I've got to do some more research on it. This is the beginning of the study, and what I love about this is talking it out loud at the beginning of the week, and then seeing what kind of ruminates.
Let it ruminate,
and what comes up in that process.
Well, I find it interesting that this time in September in this year B of the lectionary, so it's year A, year B, year C, during September is always a focus on wisdom. And the Old Testament text, so the lectionary provides an Old Testament lesson, a psalm, a New Testament lesson, or a gospel lesson, and then a New Testament lesson from one of the epistles. Did you see what the Old Testament lesson was?
I'm very interested in what you're about to say.
The Old Testament lesson was about the virtuous woman in Proverbs 31, which is not me.
Yeah, but it's like, the thing that
why are you laughing so much?
Because every feminist is like, I can't stand that woman. Basically, like, it's talking about this like ridiculous
a standard.
Yeah.
It was really the standard that the queen or woman kind of consort of whoever was writing Proverbs was setting for her son, to whom Proverbs was written. And so the writer of Proverbs was like doing this like weird projection stuff about his mama, about his wife to his son about his mama, and it's weird. So it's this whole thing, but I find it interesting that this is the text about gentleness, about actions born of gentleness and not envy. This is the text that's paired with Proverbs 31.
Yeah. I found that interesting too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to preach from Proverbs 31.
I don't blame you.
I'm going to preach from James.
I don't blame you. And there's a reason
I did read through that.
There's a reason that Katie is not the one preaching this biblical text, because there's this whole idea of like the preacher preaches to herself first, and I'm not ready to hear that about gentleness.
Yeah.
That's not my forte.
That's okay. That's okay. I think we can be wise in other ways. That's why I'm asking the question, what are other ways that show that wisdom? So, yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, and so this comes up in Bluey over and over again.
Yes.
One of our favorite episodes is
I'm not wearing the shirt tonight.
I know, I thought about bringing it down for you. One of our favorite episodes is this episode called Hammer Barn. And we made a joke about John's Hammer Barn shirt. You've got to wear your Hammer Barn shirt next week. But there's this great episode where Bluey's dad gets jealous of their neighbor's pizza oven, outdoor pizza oven. And the dad gets jealous, and he's like, "We're going to Hammer Barn."
So here's how it goes down. He looks over the fence, and he has just had the conversation with his wife, Chili, where he says, "Oh, this house isn't falling apart. It's got character. You know, the grass is always greener." And then they walk over to the fence and look at the neighbor, and he goes, "Check it out, new pizza oven. I got it from Hammer Barn." And he goes, "We're going to Hammer Barn."
Like, get in, kids.
Yeah. And she goes, "Wow, his grass sure does look green." It's like
And so
perfect response.
it's born out of this trip to Hammerbarn is born
Yeah.
out of envy, and so you see that envy is the thing during this episode, and so Bluey and Bluey's sister Bingo are in the cart in Hammerbarn, and everything. So Bluey's mom Chili takes Bluey and Bingo off on their own little adventure while Bandit, the dad, goes and finds his pizza oven.
Yes.
And so they're like going through the store, and everything Chili, the mom, puts in the cart. She has to put 2 in the cart because Bingo and Bluey are like, they have to be equal. So it's funny, the very reason they're there is out of envy, and then you're seeing envy play out while they're in the store. And Bluey and Bingo start fighting over this gnome
Yeah.
who is supposedly their husband.
It's the pizza stone.
It's the pizza stone. Anyway, in the process, the gnome, one of the gnomes, there were 2 gnomes in the cart. There are 2 gnomes in the cart. One of the gnomes falls out and breaks. One of the garden gnomes. And this is the only time in the whole series where Chili is not a gentle parent and yells at Bluey. And she says, "Bluey!"
And you hear it across the entire. So think about like Home Depot or something like that, like a huge Home Depot, and they're on the other aisle. He's like, "Aisle 400, past the flamingos. You've gone too far." And then he goes. He's standing there talking. Bandit's standing there talking about the pizza ovens, and he hears, "Bluey," and he goes, "Must be another Bluey."
And so
The
Bluey apologized, and Chili explains that they can't have new stuff all the time. So she's trying to deal with this envy that's come up, right? Because these things cost money. And then Chili says my favorite line in all of Bluey. She says, well, maybe not my favorite line, one of my favorite lines in all of Bluey. She says, "And when you're not happy with what you've got, someone's husband eventually gets it."
Which is great. Which is great.
So anyway, that's kind of like these are the lessons that come out of Bluey. These are the lessons that when we're paying attention, our spirituality can be alive, apart from any other institution, but enhanced by that institution and the community they're in.
That's right. That's right. So,
It's
gentleness from James and Bluey. I don't know if we're going with the Hammerbarn episode, but
Who knows?
it's time to toast.
Time to toast.
Sophie, you want to toast with this?
Wait, what is this?
Taco
Lemonade.
Bell lemonade.
Mmm.
So why don't you toast first?
Um.
We talked about Hammerbarn and not dropping your husband.
Okay.
Say, "Go now, friends."
Wait, no. Can I say, Okay.
Say something about Hammerbarn.
May you find your pizza oven.
May you find your pizza oven.
There you go.
My
And-
dad told me that.
And as you go looking for that pizza oven, remember to pay attention because there is wisdom everywhere you go.
And
That's
don't
right.
break your husband.
That's right. That's right. And may you find the wisdom in gentleness and the wisdom that is all around, even beyond that one word. Cheers, friends.
Cheers.
Cheers, friends.
Cheers.
We'll see you next week. Mm-mm.
This is our little lady wisdom.
That's right.
What? Wait, what?
That's what
Sophia.
your name means.
Sophia means wisdom.
What? That's what my name means?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
No
friends,
pressure, kid.
Does every name mean something?
Every name
that's a good
means something.
question. Yeah. That's
What
do you
does your name mean?
What do you think Dad's name means?
my name means goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Wait, does it actually?
No.
no.
Wait,
See you